Welcome to the most forward-thinking, inspirational podcast in this reality. The show designed to challenge everything we've been taught. If you've ever felt there had to be more to life, more to existence, then you're listening to the right podcast. Time to open your mind and dive in. This is the Mental Mastery Alliance podcast.
And here we go.
Ladies and the gentlemen, welcome back to the Mental Mastery Alliance podcast. Today, I have no idea what day today is because I'll tell you what's actually happening is we have recorded quite a few of these podcast episodes kind of all at once because you just don't know what's going to happen. Sometimes you get a good long list of great guests, and sometimes you don't get anybody that's willing to talk to you about anything because you're absolutely amazing and everyone's terrified of you. That's how I want to look at it. But today, again, I can't do too much of an intro because, once again, the names are in the title. You know what you clicked on. But it's going to be a lot of fun. We're talking about energy. We've been on a bit of an energy arc, talking about personal energy, NLP, talking about hypnosis. And I don't know. Honestly, as I'm recording this right now, I do not know what order these are going out in. I have a rough idea, so you may have heard about the NLP already, or it might be coming up next. Either way, today we're talking about a horse and pony show, energy healing, massive amounts of amazing stuff in a world that is hell-bent on fucking bringing you down and keeping you down and making you watch the news and eat Doritos and do all kinds of trash and drink your beer and smoke your joints. All of this shit is all distraction. And the coolest thing in the world is when you get past the distraction and when you start seeing past all of the tripe that's out there and all of this fucking rhetoric that's out there, not only do you start seeing the cool stuff, but you start seeing the people that are doing the cool stuff. So once you have the ability to see past the bullshit, the trance, the crap, you meet some really cool people. And today, I am blessed to have two of the coolest I know on this show. Adri's been on the show 1,000 times before, maybe not 1,000, but certainly enough. Always has something amazing to say. We are also desperately trying to get her to start her own podcast, but she seems to be a little bit hesitant. But she has done something really cool. Her and her sister are on the show right now, and we are going to talk about horses. We're going to talk about healing. We're going to talk about energy. We're going to talk about your place in this world. We're going to talk about absolutely everything. It could be a 15-minute conversation. It could be an 8-hour conversation. Ladies and gentlemen, buckle up. We are going in. Welcome to the show, ladies.
Hello. Thank you so much for having us.
I'm getting pretty good at intros, I think. And also for the audience right now that isn't watching this, we are not properly mic'd up. So we do apologize for the sound. We have two people sitting in front of one camera, and we're going to hope it works out fine. So be prepared to rewind if we start talking over each other and having a gay old time. So, ladies, tell me a little bit about how your day is going, a little bit about feel, a little bit about what brought you to energy healing with horses.
Well, that is a loaded question. It was a bit of both. The horses kind of found us, oddly enough to say, because when we moved to the farm 5 years ago during the pandemic, we weren't looking for horses. I was terrified of horses. I didn't even want to have a horse on the property. And I felt that
you got bucked or something like that at one point.
Yeah, when I was in my 20s, Fiona and I were both working at the horseback riding ranch. And within a couple of days, both of us were thrown off. So it was just easier for us to kind of completely stay away from horses altogether than to try to connect with them, because once you're scared, it can be really challenging.
And they know, don't they?
They absolutely know. That's why I decided I was going to ghost them, because it was just too, they could read your mind.
Yeah, it was a love from afar, you know, like our love of animals has never gone away. Our love of horses has never gone away, but it wasn't like we were going out seeking the horses or going to be like, yes, I want to go trail riding every single day now or all that. So like that aspect of our childhood kind of dwindled and went away with that experience. But the horses had other plans.
It killed our spirit then. But
what's neat too is your upbringing. And I remember years ago talking about your fear of horses, and how your daughter is like a champion barrel rider now. Like she is doing amazing things with horses, and it's just funny how from what once was a terrifying moment to watching your daughter excel at something so beautiful and majestic is it's got to be a neat little full circle moment for you.
Well, I had to not allow my fear to interfere with her growth and development. She
Mhm.
was drawn to horses from the beginning, wanted to spend time with them. So I really didn't want to put my fear in the way of her.
Should
Even
we
though
give a
one
shout out
time
to Zoe and all her nerd friends in high school right now?
yeah, right. So one day she got thrown off by our horse and I lost it. She was like, "Mom, I could never fall in front of you again. It's so embarrassing." And then at that moment, there was like a switch where it was like, okay, I can't let my fear interfere with her and give her a fear that wasn't there to begin with. So I really got to work on getting to the bottom of what it was I was afraid of. And I realized that like I just wasn't shown how to be around a horse. I wasn't shown how to ride a horse properly. I thought you rode a horse with your hands when it's like all about energy and using your body, and your hands is like the last thing you use. So it was a complete relearning about how to be with them, and it was by getting our donkey that came with a free horse that we got to learn how to be around a chill horse because he was too old to do anything with, and we just had him as like kind of a companion to the donkey, and it's been a total 180 since then.
Nice.
Yeah.
I
And
love
we've
that.
been, with energy work a lot longer than just with the horses, right?
Oh, yeah.
Because energy work encompasses so many different modalities and avenues, and like it's in every part of our life. So for us, we've always kind of had, whether we had a conscious understanding of energy or not, we've had energy work throughout our lives, and now it's come full circle with the horses. It's just such a magical and beautiful way that they truly encompass it and teach us and grow from there.
Mhm.
And like it's just like no other form of energy work.
Oh,
And
it's of the
honestly,
highest. It's of the highest. Their frequency and the horse consciousness is well above what we are working with right now. So they make great partners for that.
Yeah.
yeah, was that song by Jane's Addiction? Humans, we make great pets. Um, they actually, as you're saying that stuff, yeah, as you're saying that, and we are pets to the horses for sure, you know.
Totally. We think we're their boss, but no,
No,
They know.
they know what they're doing.
yeah, for sure. And actually, as you were saying that, you were talking about this isn't your first foray into energy. And interestingly enough, you and I were talking about this 10 seconds before we went live. Is like probably 6 or 7 months ago, you and I sat down and recorded a clip that I was going to use in a show later, and I never did. And this is around episode 300, 315. So I still have that clip, and this is talking about, I believe it's called the Healy and frequency healing and all that sort of stuff. So there's a good 15 minutes that I'm actually going to tie in. I'm going to drop that clip at the end of this episode so that people
Cool.
can be like, okay, so we've talked about this healing, and then now here's another avenue as well. And why I want to add that to this and why that makes sense to me is because there are so many people in this world right now that are going to love the end of the show. They're going to love hearing about the horses and what they can do, and they're going to say things like, "Fuck, I wish I could get out there. I wish I could get out to Embrun," but it's hard to get to 20 minutes outside of Ottawa, Canada. It's this audience isn't localized to Canada. But what can be done is Healy. If you have interest, if you're worried, if you're stressing about this stuff, one of the things you can do, listener, is connect with us. Your Adri, you'll find, is actually in the Alliance. So you can find her page off from our page. Just head over to the mentalmasteryalliance.com, and she's one of our coaches. So you are going to be able to connect with her that way. And if you can't make it up for the horses, they do have Rife machines. They do have Heelys. They do have the ability to heal you with a picture alone. They just need your essence, your aura, your visage. So there's answers out there. There are massive answers out there. And to everyone that says that's bullshit, that can't be done, I'll tell you this right now. You eat an apple and you take from the apple the nutrients that are in the apple. Before you ate that apple, it grew off a tree. The apple took the nutrients from the tree. Before it was a tree, it was in the ground. The apple took the nutrients from the ground. Before it was the ground, who knows what it was? But it's manifestation. If the nutrients can go from wherever, the ground into the tree, into the apple, into your belly, they got into the ground somehow. And that exact same way of getting them into the ground can get them into your body without you ingesting a thing. So don't be negative. Don't hesitate to jump into the idea of energy healing. I'll tell you this right now. It is amazing what you can do when you allow yourself to believe that you can do anything. Sorry for that long tangent, ladies. Let's get
It's
back to the
okay.
horses.
It's totally quantum. So you, like you said, you don't even have to be there. We can record an energy signature using the quantum resonance device, the Healy, and with the picture, we do the aura scans. But it's also been a huge, huge healing tool for us with our animals, because animals don't have a way to tell us, what their symptoms are. And if you have animals of prey, like horses, they can hold pain so well because it's their survival mechanism to not show pain. If they're showing pain, it's because it's really, really far gone. So before they can have any kind
I
of
understand
thing,
horses. I can relate.
so we can help them with it's not a diagnostic tool,
Right.
but it does read the energy field and it gives really good information, usually very, very accurate. And so we're able to help them, and that keeps us out of the vets and it keeps us more in control of our own health sovereignty. So not even just for ourselves, but for the animals too.
And
We
that's
live
the
in a
true
weird
test,
world right
right?
now, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry to cut you off there. We live in a weird
That's
world
okay.
right now where anybody can take anything for granted or can take anything the wrong way. So I'm going to press this button here. And the reason I'm pressing it is because we're not talking about therapy. We're not talking about therapeutic. We're not allowed to even say therapy per se, because none of this is therapy. All of this is just for fun. It's just three people shooting the breeze. So I'm going to press this button here, and you guys will all relatively understand what I'm talking about in the future.
Disclaimer. If you're going to soundbite any of this podcast, you must soundbite it in its entirety for consistency and context.
Ain't nobody telling me I said go eat horses, and they did, and all of a sudden I'm Joe Rogan and what's his name's pulling his music off Spotify because I exist. Shout out to Neil Young
Right.
because nobody remembers who you are. Anyway, carry on.
Yeah, I was just no, that's totally important because you're absolutely right. It is not therapy. We cannot call ourselves therapists, like those have a completely respected, licensing and school and all that. So that's completely different. But what I was going to say back to the Healy and energy work with the horses and or any other animal is that's the true test, right? Because there is no placebo effect. There is no explaining to them what we're doing. The only thing is the result. And when
Right.
you're starting to see results in beings that cannot explain, oh yeah, you hit it right on the nose. Oh yeah, my pain is gone. You just start to see the results. That's when you're just like, holy shit, this is really working. And then you start to use it on yourself and start to see it on yourself as well.
And they also are way more sensitive than we are. They feel it. So the second you run a scan on them, they're looking around like, where's that coming from?
Yeah.
Like they can detect it. Actually,
That's
some
so cool.
people can detect it too. Like the human is sensitive enough to be able to have access to all of these things and these sensitivities. It's just we've dumbed ourselves down to our own innate intelligence. And I feel like that is a huge part of why we're doing this, is because we want to help ourselves get back to that ability to be so in tune, to be connected with nature and our intuition, and using the horses as partners just elevates that so much more because they have no agenda. They have no reason to lie to you. They're always present and they always tell the truth.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I have an inkling as well and a notion. I mean, I myself am overweight, working on it. And there was a time where I would be like, "Oh, I'm overweight and insecure. Society says blah blah blah." But now it's 100%. I give two shits what society says. I look at myself. I look at what I've done. I look at the fact that I've fallen into the traps. I drank the sodas. I ate the potato chips. I did the drugs. I did all of that stuff, and my body is abused. I had the experience. Would I do it all over again? Oh my God. Yes, unequivocally. I came here to live and to have moments, and boy, howdy, have I. What I'm saying though is I'm 45 years old. I'm better looking now than I've ever been in my entire life. Absolutely striking. So that's to all of those people that can't see me. I'm telling you the truth. My key point here is I want to lose the weight. I want to shed the blockages because I want to be able to sit there with the horses. I want to be able to say, the horses can feel it. I'm already naturally in tune to a lot of things, but imagine what happens when I clear my body of everything.
And the horses can do that. They
Yeah.
have an insane, precise ability to find the deepest subconscious block and mirror it to you in real time, where it will only mean something to the person who's observing them.
Amazing.
Not me as a facilitator, but the person who is working with the horse.
You
That's
facilitate,
how
and the
in
person
tune they
has
are.
their mission, like they have their vision.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so to me, it could look like nothing's happening. And then they could be having the biggest transformation internally going on where everything just clicks and makes sense.
The person's
Well,
having
and
a killer
those
meltdown.
have been some goals of some of our clients, right? Of like, oh, I want to lose weight. Okay, great. That's your goal. What are your obstacles? Tell it to the horses. And in fact, the horses can tell whether you're congruent or not about those obstacles and that goal, because sometimes the horse will then flip out and be like, you're not being honest with yourself. Is this your true goal? Are these even real obstacles?
100%.
Like,
I want to lose weight.
100%.
I get my fucking
Like-
bag of McDonald's horse kicked out of my hand. Oh, I guess I do want to lose weight then.
This has happened.
Yeah.
This has happened where it was the weight was like the tip of the iceberg, but
Yeah.
the real reason why the weight was being held onto was deep, so deep. It was just, you couldn't even make that up, even if you tried. And then the second the person started coming out and saying the little things, then it was like all the other horses started coming in and coming to say hello. And then the horse that was at play calmed down, because now, yeah, the congruency comes in. So if you're pretending to be happy and inside you're dying, the horse is going to die on the outside because he's reflecting the way you're feeling on the inside, until you realize, hey, that horse is feeling the way that I actually feel, and I'm pretending not to feel that way. And then at that moment, the horse is like, okay, good, you get it. And then they stop. Like,
That's wild.
we think they're playing games, but they see us in our heads as like emotionally unstable, because if we were in their herd, we would be a risk.
oh, yeah.
Right. So somebody who's emotionally unstable, or
Genius.
who can't, or who's stuck in the story, and the horses don't need to know the story. They use the emotion,
Well, the story's
energy
bullshit.
in motion.
Yeah, they're just seeing
The
the
story
emotion,
usually is
Yeah.
bullshit. It's a
Yeah.
story we tell ourselves.
Yep.
But they can feel the energy behind the emotion, and they just want to move the energy out. Not because it's bad or good. It's just, it's information and it's energy that's just kind of like moving around, and it doesn't need to be there. It needs to be like acknowledged and then sent off on its way, learning whatever it is you need to learn from it, so that it doesn't hijack the rest of your biology, live in your subconscious mind, and then continue on loop and repeat forever, sabotaging your entire life.
No, they just want the information and how it pertains to them and how it pertains to their safety. And then once that's processed and dealt with, they go back to grazing.
Yeah. So how many times have you
Also
had a
sounds like me.
meltdown and then you just go back to just go back to eating? We'll just sit there and be like, oh my gosh, what did I say? How did I say that? Oh, they said, then they did this, and then they looked at me this way. And what does that mean? Like, we just, we go into these psychoses, whereas the horses, they're like, deal with it and then go back to eating grass, and they're over it.
Yeah.
I
We
like
have all
that.
sorts of patterns in our brains, in our lives, everywhere, right? And it's like, they just want to make sure that they can eat and live in peace, and that's it, man. They're just grazing. They live in the present moment.
And you and I, Adri, you and I were talking about, it's 100% true though, what you were saying there, but you and I were talking about other factors. A long time ago, we've talked about sort of the blockages that keep the fat around your belly, the visceral fat, the this and that. Like when we say it's not about the the food, there's a lot of factors that go into it, the stress, the myriad of everything. Do you think that if my goal, or if my intent, or if my desire is to quote unquote lose weight, that the horses help me understand more, or that they actually, do you think that they, and this is pure curiosity, I could be totally in a left field, but do you think that they interact with or interchange with your energy? In other words, the horse themselves, the engagement with the horse does something to you chemically, or spiritually or esoterically, that allows that cortisol level to go down, or allows whatever the hell it is that's keeping, because you can eat right and exercise and all that sort of stuff, but you're still going to have a belly or whatever the hell it is, until you unload, or until you understand, or until you comprehend this.
I would say it is an all of the above.
Yeah.
Because when you are in the horse's presence, you're in their energy field. Their heart emits an electromagnetic currency. Your heart emits an electromagnetic currency. When you're in their field, you are now becoming a vibrational match to them. So you're in resonance with them. Like if you're tuning an instrument, you're tuning your guitar, once you have the sound, you stop, right? So like when you're standing next to a horse, they're bigger, their heart's bigger, their field's bigger, you become resonant with them. So yes, when you are beside a horse, it is known that your breath slows down, your heart rate slows down, your nervous system regulates just by simply standing next to one. Now let's assume it's a calm horse and not like a horse that's ready to go out on the
These
racetrack.
wild stallions fucking my shit up right now.
All right, like it's it's a case by case basis, but normally horses in their natural state that are happy and fed and they're sound and everything, like that would be that there is a lot of scientific data showing the changes in our body when we're next to horses without going on them, without even touching them.
Amazing.
Yeah, because the horse's heart rate is 3 times slower than ours. So we're constantly trying to match whatever is in our electromagnetic field. So like we as humans have an electromagnetic field that's about as wide as our arm span. So right now, Adrian and I are both in each other's electromagnetic fields, which means that we're both kind of feeling what each other might be feeling without always being conscious and aware of it. And the horse's electromagnetic field is even way larger because they have a bigger heart and a bigger gut than we do. So just being in their presence, not only are we trying to match their heart rate by slowing our heart rate down, but we're just trying to be in resonance with them, right? Like they're just so amazing and they feel everything we feel and vice versa if we're close enough.
That
They can even
electromagnetic
hear-
field that you guys are talking about too is this is something that's mandatorily important that people understand. The powers that be that pushed the COVID narrative on us also understood this, and the 6 feet apart was not by accident. That is your heart light. That is your ability to
your
connect with
information.
humans.
Yeah.
Yes, we're trading
That's
and
your
sharing
electromagnetic field, basically.
You know, when somebody next to you, like if Fiona was stressed out, just me sitting here, my body would be having a physical reaction just by being in close proximity because
Absolutely.
I can pick up on that. You can pick up on somebody who's happy or sad or unwell or
Moreover than that too, if you're standing in line and at the grocery store, if somebody steps into your 6 foot range, you're not even looking behind you. Somebody has stepped into your boobla.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's your spidey sense.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. So that's a very real thing. That's not woo-woo juju horsey poo.
No, not
and,
at all.
And in fact, there's the Institute of Heart Math in California that has been studying this exact effect, right? The electromagnetic fields and the heart resonance and heart fields of both humans and horses. So they're taking it a step beyond humans and learning what it is for horses. So it's not just woo-woo, right? There's science to back it up.
Would have been hilarious if they'd have said stay 6 feet away from each other and 12 feet away from horses.
Yeah, right.
They haven't caught on to that yet. The horses are still a step ahead.
Yeah,
Well,
the
I
horses
think
and the
they're
Amish
always
didn't have to
moving in
worry
weird
about COVID.
directions.
They didn't have the news.
Yeah.
Right? All those deaths from those non-vaccinated Amish kids.
God damn. The guy says, remember that lawsuit? They sued the Amish. He goes, why didn't you guys get the app? Blah, blah, blah. He goes, none of us have phones. Dismissed. Absolute chaos. Absolute chaos. And we're talking about energy, so we threw that out there. But this isn't a conspiracy episode. This is an amazing episode. So what happens next? I know I'd say we're a little bit pressed for time. It's been a long day. But my curiosity is, what happens next? What happens when you guys are in full swing? I know you've been dabbling. I know you've been fine tuning. I know you've been practicing. But what does this look like moving forward? How are we going to get out there? How am I going to go and hug a horse? Like what do we have in place? And maybe I've overshot this. Maybe we're too early in the stages, but do you guys have a plan in place, or what does it look like for you in the next year or two?
So essentially right now, both Adrian and I have completed our training, and we are both certified field facilitators or practitioners, if you will. So field stands for Facilitated Equine Experiential Learning. And experiential is all about learning through doing, right? So we are going to be doing activities with the people and the horses. Now, there is a component and an aspect of it where we are just sitting down one-on-one before we even get out to the horses, because we want to give you some teaching, some information, so that the activities make sense.
Yeah.
And in fact, I've even gone back to do my advanced training. So Adrian is a wonderful, amazing field facilitator, and I am now the advanced field facilitator under my
Little
belt.
seniority around here. Eh?
That's
Okay,
right.
okay.
She might be older and wiser, but my wiseness is getting up there.
I'm catching up.
Yeah, exactly, catching up. But no, she's planning on doing it. It just the timing wasn't right for her in that aspect at this moment in our journey. But we're slowly launching it, so we're able to do one-on-one session with people. So where we have a discovery call and figure out what's going on, and bring them out to the horses and bring them out to the farm, and do our activities. So we have a number of activities under our belt, depending on what people want to work through. And we are also going to be focusing our energy on doing some workshops as well. So that's going to implement both some field work with the horses as well as some other fun stuff that we have planned. We may even do like a 3 or 4 week program where it's with multiple people. And yeah, we've got so many things that we're thinking about doing. We just got to brainstorm and plan them and lay them out and launch them.
Amazing.
What else?
Amazing.
What
Yeah.
else do you have there?
And also offering energy healing
Yes.
on the table. So like you're going for a regular Reiki, not Reiki massage, but like a Reiki healing. You're lying down on the table, then the horses are there too. And they're also providing healing simultaneously to myself,
Oh,
which
it's
has
like goat
been
yoga.
like, except a little more comfortable.
The horses don't stand on you, ladies and
The
gentlemen. Don't worry
horses
about that.
don't stand on you, but
Yeah.
they will rest their hand. They'll rest their head on your heart, or they will like go to an area of your body that had pain or surgery. Like their precision is impeccable. And the people who have come to try this with me and my herd so far have had incredible experiences. They're raving the reviews about it. They're just, they're going to be out there promoting it for me because they had such a positive experience doing it.
Mhm.
And I would like to also help other people with their own horses do that so that they can have an added layer of connection with their own personal horses. So that's part of
There are so
my
many features to
mission.
this too, for sure. And ladies and gentlemen, if you're in the Ottawa area, absolutely reach out to these guys. Again, like I said, everything's going to be in the show notes. You'll be able to find them. If you have any questions, hit me up, Adam at the Mental Mastery Alliance. If you can't find anybody, but if you're in the Ottawa area, go connect, chat. If you own horses and you want more from them, chat. Get out there, make the connection. If you've got all the money in the world and you want to fly in from anywhere, we'll put you up in hotels. We can do all that. Get over here. Give us some of your money. Heal, win, all of these things. Heal with feel. I don't know. I'm
Experience
blown
the
away
magic
by
of the horses.
exactly. I'm blown away by the amount of people that are out there trying to do all these things to make themselves feel better. And I'm also amazed at all of the beautiful ways to get it done. And one thing that I've said time and time again is every single belief you hold on to, if you do not have the ability to question it, it becomes a limiting belief. And we don't want to live in a world with limiting beliefs. And I've watched horses interact. I know humans interact. I know the science behind COVID. Stay 6 feet apart. So if they're going to put an entire campaign that fucked the entire world up, it's evidence that if you stand next to a horse, you're going to feel something. Unless that horse is a dick, you might get kicked. But you don't work with dick horses, from what I understand. We try to
No,
keep
we
the
don't.
horse kicks down. I'm
We keep
joking,
our
of course,
horses
ladies
very
and gentlemen.
happy.
You always have to put some humor into it. But I've
Yes.
known Adri for feels like a lifetime, and it is a lifetime. It's one of those moments in time where you meet somebody, and you know it's right. You know this person is just one of those people on this planet that is just so spectacular and so miraculous. And when I met her, she was in a bit of a funk, and she's out of it now, and she's grown absolutely exponentially. And this woman is one of the very few women. And sorry to cut you out here, Fiona. I don't know you that well, but every single moment I have met you, you've been nothing but heart yourself. And so I can happily sit here and promote these two women. I can happily sit here and promote what the work is that they're doing with with the horses and with you. And like I said in the last episode, that people will say things to me like, why do you have other coaches and all this stuff? Like, why are you risking losing business? And I'll tell you this, these guys, for first and foremost, they're doing something that's way out of my field. And I love it. But the idea is if somebody's feeling sick, if somebody's feeling down, if somebody's feeling anything, and my message isn't hitting, they might get what they need from somebody else. The exact same message coming from a different face, a different voice, it hits. And what all of us in this community are doing right now is everything that we can to help. Wherein 2-3 years ago, we were doing everything we can to understand. Now we're doing everything we can to help. And we also know that it's not for everybody. We can't help everybody. There's going to be some asshole out there that runs their mouth on this as well. And if you do, it
Absolutely.
gives us an opportunity to defend it, to make ourselves look good, and to point out the fact that you're an asshole. So we all have our growing phases. We all have our growing stations. We all have our growing purposes. But if you've ever tried things, and if you want to try new things, and you want to get out there and you want to dabble, and if you're really ready to make a fucking commitment, really ready to change who and what you're doing, it's not so much, I got a diet, I got this, I got that. It's literally trying the esoteric. It's all the stuff that they never told us was possible, right? Every single person that's out there colonizing the Wild West rode horseback. Every single person was personally connected to their horses, and most of them, with regards to dysentery running around and all this shit, gout, all kinds of crap all over the place in the West, a lot of them were healthier than we are today. So to me, there's something to be said about what the horse can offer and our part in it as well.
And it's not an either or, right? It's not like we're saying do this above everything else. It's like do this if it calls to you, as well as continue to do your breath work, your meditation, your energy healing, your sound bowl, whatever. All of these things can work wonderfully together. It's just to have something else under your belt, try something new. And if it works for you, wonderful, because we have seen the magic. We have heard the testimonials from people who've done our workshops and our one-on-ones and stuff like that. So it's like we have seen the power of the horses and their wisdom, but we want you to experience it for you, and you can tell us about it then.
And this also gives a job and a purpose to horses that are no longer usable for specific jobs like riding or working horses. So often horses need to be put down that are completely fine. It's just if they don't have their job, people don't want to keep them. And this has been giving them a second chance at life, doing something incredible that's giving back to humans. Horses have been partners with humans since the beginning of time. And it's our way to thank them and give back to them as well, and give them a purpose and something to do that elevates the consciousness of humanity. And I think that this is part of their evolution with us too, is they're not just here to be entertainment and rides, but to really help us shift to that next level, which a lot of us are feeling called to right now, and don't always know where to go first. So we just want to have that to bring to the people and offer. And like we want to get these shirts that say you can't make this shit up, because every single time we see somebody having an interaction, it's been unique to every single person every single time, and we're just like,
it blows us away every time.
What is it's unreal.
Even for us, like as we learn, we're doing the activities as well. So it's not like we've never done them and experienced them. And we have seen the growth in ourselves as well, that that was basically the way we came to understand feel, is we did our own workshop somewhere and experienced it. And then we both looked at each other and we're like, we need to do this. We need to be feel certified.
we were already on the farm. We already had horses. We already were set up. It was like, I guess we're doing this. And that's what I'm saying. Like the horses kind of like meshed in, and it was like they knew we were going to do this, and they had us all set up. And then it was just funny because it's like they maneuvered their way into our lives so that we could do this with them.
Well, and one of the big ways that Feel differentiates itself from, let's say, EAL or other equine therapeutic work is that we view the horses as our complete partners. They are not our tools. They are not a means to an end. They are literally our partners, and they are the true teachers. So we are carrying, right, quote unquote, like we are taking care of them spiritually, physically, all the things. We are clearing their energy after their sessions. We are making sure that they have sacred spaces to do their sessions with us, and they have a choice. That's the biggest thing, is that, people will come in, they'll meet the herd, and they might have a connection to one of our horses, and they might be like, okay, I really feel like I want to do my first activity in session with this horse. Wonderful. We'll go, we'll set up, and then we'll, talk to the horse. We'll be like, hello, this is so and so. We're going to be doing this activity today, because we talk to our horses. We tell them what they're going to do, even though they already know it, subconsciously, energetically, they know what they're doing. And then sometimes they might be having an off day, just like we are, and they have the choice to be like, you know what? No, I'm not the right horse to work with this person today. And then another horse's head might pop out of their stall being like, hey, I'm over here.
Usually it's like somebody else is like, no, pick me, pick me.
That's right. There's usually something like that. And it's
Neat.
super obvious. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the horses have a choice. They're our partners, and they are completely loved.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's never happened where no horses want to work.
No.
They always want to show up. It's just they usually have an idea of what they want to do. So we just need to be flexible to work with what they're saying and not be attached to our own agenda in our head, saying, well, this person's going to work with that one and this one's going to work with that one, because the horses may turn the whole thing around and say, no, new plan.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. And to those of you that may be
think-
like, oh yeah, horses can't know that or can't do that or can't blah, blah, blah. It has been going on for years and years and years where certain dogs will go into hospice care and just love and cherish humans. There's no difference, I don't think, than this.
No.
Like the way we treat our animals, the way we treat our animals is absolutely abhorring. But to those that know they're loved and to those that do the loving, animals are absolutely bliss.
Yeah.
Yeah, and at the
On
farm,
all
we don't
fronts.
just have the horses that come out. We have the dogs, we have the cats. The cats are always coming in and giving their piece and
I see
purring with
Frank
people.
roaming around
and
too. He's just out there.
everyone.
Yep. The
So
chickens have their piece.
The energy of the farm also makes a big difference. So
Yeah.
when you come here, you feel like you're welcome, and it's
Every
just has
visit I've ever made to that place has always been a pile of people there, has always been family, has always been unity. It's definitely a place that reminds me of home. When I was younger, living in Ottawa, my house was always either a drop-in or what have you. The door was never locked. Everybody was always welcome. The fridge was always open. I don't know if I do that now because a grocery card is like $9,000, but back then
Yeah.
it didn't matter. Have some bread, have some water, have some grapes, whatever you want.
Mhm.
So
$10
yeah,
grapes.
no, it's
Yeah.
an amazing thing. We are going to draw this in. Did you guys have anything else you wanted to sort of add to that, or how do you feel? Because I am going to drop off at the Healy as well. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this from here and we're going to talk a little bit about the Healy stuff that you and I talked about all
Yeah,
those weeks
cool.
ago.
No, that's good, because everything is energy. We are all connected through the quantum field. So whether we're tapping in with healers or horses or therapeutic dogs or meditation or any of it, like we're all just getting into the frequency of love. Like ultimately that is the highest vibration, that's the goal. And so with horses, we're able to help people unlock that. We bring them through a heart connection, and this is something that makes feel so powerful and so great, is that we're helping people be in their bodies, less in their heads.
Mhm.
And so whichever, method helps people open their
Excuse me.
heart, connect to higher vibrations, then that's the biggest service we could be doing for people. If it means I have to go and teach people how to garden to get there, I will do that too. My goal is really to help people access this level of being and, become their own health authority so that they can have health sovereignty.
Amazing. I love that.
Mhm.
I love it. I love all of it. Thank you guys for coming on the show.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so much.
Yeah, this was good. This was great. And I again, like I said, ladies and gentlemen, if you have any interest in this stuff, reach out. Let's follow up. Let's get something going here. Let's get something on the books, and let's help you. Let us help you help yourself and all that fun stuff. And in the infamous words of Red Green, if the women don't find you handsome, they should at least find you handy. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I am now the recorded version of me that I was previously just talking about, as per the interview with Adri, talking about the Healy, talking about energy. I know we've talked about this before. I know it's almost like I'm beating a dead horse, but I love this stuff. I love the fact that you can really connect with energy. And we talked again in the past where if you eat an apple, you get the energy from the apple and it goes into your body. But here's the funny thing. That energy that initially came from nowhere, or the ground, if you want to say, went into the apple. But before it went into the ground, It came from nowhere. We live in a universe that is energetically abundant. We live in a universe that we don't fully understand, and we live in a place where you take energy from the substances that you ingest. This Healy device, the idea is you skip the ground, you skip the apple, you skip everything, and the molecules, the energy, the essence of whatever the apple, I'm just saying the apple arbitrarily, goes into your body from the ethos. Adri, welcome to the show. It's a brief clip. We're happy to have you here. We actually hijacked her in the middle of the day to get her to describe this to us, but her website is absolutely amazing. And again, I'll put that in the show notes as well. I feel like I'm cutting you off, but I'm so excited to have you here because I want to hear a little bit about what it is that you're talking about and your take on the Healy. So fire away, Adri.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
So yes, the Healy is a small, compact, but mighty device that we are now available to have. Originally, they were these big, huge, clunky machines that you needed to have like certain medical requirements to operate, tons of research, training, and all this stuff. And they've put it all into a user-friendly package to be able to access energy on levels that like we're just starting to comprehend. And what you were saying about the apple and the energy, like I find that very fascinating because it's exactly what it's doing. And sometimes our bodies right now are so far gone, like in terms of sludge, that we're not even able to access the energy from the apple. So when your body takes the bite of the apple and then goes through the whole process of digesting it, breaking it down to its simplest form, which normally you would be able to use without any effort, now we're being blocked from even our bodies being able to do that. And what the Healy does is it takes the energy at its simplest form in form of electricity in the exact frequency that your body needs, and it delivers it directly to the cells. So you're bypassing the whole digestive system. Now, it's not to say that you're going to go and replace your entire diet to use and receive frequency instead, but it acts as a really big support system for those who can't digest the apple and still be able to receive that energy directly into the cells. So when your cells are energized, they can rebuild from the cellular level and then start to heal you from the inside out.
Do you think that this could replace food? I mean, I'm only asking because people are going to say weird things. And we do know too that breatharians exist,
I know, right?
So I'm so curious and so fascinated by breatharians, but at the same time, what's your take on how that works or how that transpires? And
I think
I'll also pre-emphasize that by saying people talk about how we need food to live and we need sleep to live. And the funny thing is, I don't know if we even really truly do need food to live because we get our energy from the naps. But like, what is okay, so let me just rephrase the whole question. What is your take on what fuel is? Because we do sleeping and because we do eating, and now the Healy is honing in on transferring energetic cells to us. What's your take on that energetically? Where are we getting our juice from?
Well, I think it's showing us what is possible, and it's helping us transition from being a 3D density to becoming more light in our light bodies.
Amazing. That's a great answer. Because
That's what I feel is true.
Really
because it helps
question.
it helps on not just digestion, it helps for the emotional and the physical. Like it touches on all the dimensional parts of our being. So that's why I feel like it's helping us transition from being dense matter into learning how to use energy for the things that we need. And we know that the things in our material world are changing, and they're not changing for our highest good. And it's like we're adapting to the changes of the planet. Like the planet is changing on its own. The magnetic poles are moving. Everything is becoming, I don't want to say more light, but when we're talking about light and like the light is coming in, like our bodies have to adapt to that. So people who are living in these lower vibrational states, now that the planet is moving along very fast these days, there seems to be a lot of people that are having trouble keeping up.
This is what I mean, it's a bit of a sidestep, but maybe it's not. Maybe it's right on cue. But this is what I was talking about when I talk about the rapture. We're looking at right now we're looking at the fifth dimensional people separating from the third dimensional people. And I'm not saying fifth dimensional is better or third dimensional is worse because one's higher than the other. That's not what I'm saying at all. What I am saying is we're seeing a shift in consciousness. And that to me is again what the rapture is. The rapture is described as something evil, but you're seeing the divide. You're seeing people argue about Trump, and you're seeing people being like, it's got nothing to do with us. This whole thing is, I no longer partake in the distractionary measures of this reality. So yeah, the earth is moving along. However it moves and however it shifts, I'm fascinated by all of it. And you said we have to adapt because it's devolving, but I think that's incorrect. I think certain things are taking place in this reality to force us to elevate because we came here to elevate. We came here to get out of here. I think. I don't know.
Or experience it from a different perspective altogether, energetically. And our bodies know that this is happening. Like I had the first call within my inner knowing, like maybe 7 years ago when I was drinking quite heavily, that it was like, you need to stop drinking so that your body can adapt to this. And this was before I even understood all about the 5D and any of this. It was like there was a loud voice in my head. It was like, this is not going where you're going. Like you got to cut this out.
Yeah, the way I look at that too, that's reality speaking to you before you even know. So it's not like, oh, I'm influenced by this, so I'm going to quit drinking. It's my body's talking to me. It's saying, hey, back off. And then later in life, you're like, oh, this is why.
Yeah,
I felt
you look
what I
back
felt.
and you're like, oh my God, like, and then you see how powerful your intuition is and
Yeah.
all that. And so the Healy supports those energetic changes, but it also helps you enhance your ability to do it on your own. So you don't need to rely on the Healy necessarily. Like it's a tool that helps you, but it also enriches you when you're not using it, because your energy is your energy and you're able to now practice in the energetic way that, let's say you're trying to magnetize something to yourself. Well, the Healy is showing you in real time how it's moving space and time to do that for you, but then after you can do it by yourself because you
Yeah.
understand the principle and you know that your body is an antenna and we're sending and receiving and all this stuff, but we're just in so much energetic noise that it's hard to know where you start, where the others start, and how we all fit because we're all connected energetically, but we're
Yeah.
being influenced by so many different frequencies. And then you have your emotions, which are energy and motion, which are in your body kind of trapped. So you're dealing with a lot of different levels and layers of stuff. And what I like about the Healy is that it helps you navigate through that so that you can do it on your own, and then you kind of use it more for fun, but also for healing. So it's like it does so many different things.
There's a certain group of people here that may poo-poo the idea of the Healy being proper. I don't think that they're listening to this show, but if they are, or if somebody wants to describe the Healy to their friends that doesn't listen to this show, I would say this. You were talking about frequencies. We're being bombarded by them, and we are. Every single person listening to the show right now knows about the dangers of 5G and what it does to you, and the mixture of irons in the air. We know about the dangers of microwaves. People listening to the show won't be using microwaves. I don't even think. I would wager a guess that 50% of people listening to the show don't even have a microwave in their house.
I don't.
Yeah, you don't. I don't. You know that I firmly believe that people understand the dangers of frequencies because Bluetooth, microwave, infrared, these are all frequencies. 5G frequency, radio cell frequency.
Yeah.
We know the dangers of them. So if there are dangers to these frequencies, then there must be a yin to this yang, and there must be a positive, which is the Healy. The Healy is the positive energy that helps heal you. And I know a couple of times I'm what 500 kilometers away from you, and I know that you've turned the machine on for me when I've had either a lower back issue or a tension issue in my neck, and it's been a noticeable difference. Some people will say mind over matter. You did this, you did that. And maybe that's the case, right? But also maybe it's not.
Maybe it's not, because we sat down with some people yesterday that have only ever experienced the Healy once and sometimes never. And they described having the same experience. And they were the type of people that were like, I'm an engineer. I'm very skeptical. And normally I need to understand things. And they were like, I didn't understand why I felt better after getting the scan sent to me, like the scan and then the vibration sent to me.
Yeah.
And we were dealing with like the older generation too. These weren't young people. Like the people that came yesterday to talk with us, they were elders, like they were in their 60s or 50s in their 60s. So it was really interesting to see how they were connecting with that as well. And they were also very sensitive, like they could feel the vibrations in their hands when they're holding it and all that stuff. And some people can't feel it. Just like we can't hear certain sounds. Just because we can't see or hear it, we know they're there. We don't see the Wi-Fi, waves in the air, and we don't see the microwaves and the X-rays and all that stuff, but we know that they're there.
But that's one of those funny things too. You can go onto YouTube and you can do you can play a hearing test if you're there with like your kids or your grandkids or whatever.
We
They
did
can
it
hear
2
shit
days
that
ago.
we cannot hear. We simply can't hear it, but they hear it clear as day.
They heard it. Yeah. You can measure like your age
Yeah.
based on that. So my husband, he was the first one to stop hearing it. And then I went a few, I
Way
don't
to
know,
throw the poor guy under the
wavelengths
bus there.
longer.
Jeez.
And then the kids just heard it way longer than us. And we're like, how do you still hear it? And you could see them like, as it was getting higher and higher, their ears and their eyes were like, it hurts.
Turn it off, Mom. Turn it off.
And then the dog would have heard it like way longer even after that.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And that's another cool thing is that we use it with our animals, and the cats and the dogs, they're receptive to it and they're way more energy sensitive than we are.
Oh, yeah.
And so that's a big testament to how nice and gentle it is because they're open to it. And in fact, they want it. So when we have cats that got injured, we will help them and we'll support their bodies using frequencies that are touching on regeneration for their cells and their tissues, for example, because every tissue has a frequency that they work on optimally.
Yeah.
And so when you select a frequency based on the Healy has them all preset and you use it with your smartphone, so you don't have to know them by heart. Somebody's already done all that work with, tens and dozens of years of research and trials and errors. So it's, to have access to that in your home, and it's a wearable device that you can go anywhere with. It's very, very practical, and it's helped us a lot.
That's amazing. And I know we're getting a few questions about this too. So I'm going to send people over to your website. Your website again, we'll put it in the show notes, but what is your website again?
TheEpiphanyChronicles.com.
We really hope you enjoyed this episode of the Mental Mastery Alliance podcast. Stay connected with us directly through the mentalmasteryalliance.com. You can also join the discussion on Instagram at instagram.com/the Mental Mastery Alliance. Let the team know you're listening by using the hashtag TMMA or tagging us at the Mental Mastery Alliance. To have your voice heard on the show, leave a voicemail or send a text to 647-338-1265. Long distance charges may apply. If you love us, leave us a review. If you hate us, you spend your time in weird ways, but also leave a review. Every review on iTunes tickles the algorithm, helping us grow. Until next time, unity over division. This concludes the most surreal portion of your day.
You got it, Pontiac.